Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about childproofing your home, and we'd like to thank Jim Statler for liking and sharing the podcast. You can now subscribe to our podcast on the Pandora mobile app, and we'd like to thank Pandora for featuring us in the games and hobbies category. Some of the first child seats for cars were sack-like pouches that hung over the seat's headrest, and so your kids would put their legs through two holes in the bottom of the sack. Then there were child seats that had two hooks that went over the back of the car seat, and that raised the kid up so they could look out the window. But the seats didn't have a seat belt. They just had this bar in front of it. On most of them. Some didn't have anything. And some had a tray for toys. In the 1960s, when seat belts in cars became mandatory, companies started to hold the child car seats in place with seat belts, and the child seat had a strap. In 1971, the first federal standards for a child's car seat was established, and it required a 3-point harness. And it wasn't until the 1980s that manufacturers had to pass a crash test to certify that their child's seat was safe. And now the new standard is the latch system.
Okay.
The CDC says about 2.3 million children are accidentally injured, and more than 2,500 are killed from unintentional injury every year. And there was a study done by the University of Alabama with first-time moms who had 1 to 3-year-old kids. And when they were walked through a model home, they were only able to point out about half of the dangers. So it's not only important to childproof your home, if you're having grandparents watch your kids at their home, it needs to be childproofed.
Right.
The AARP says about 38% of child poisonings are from grandparents' medications left out. So all drugs need to be in childproof containers or medicine cabinets out of reach.
You should also check the floors, because I know my parents, they drop pills all the time. And I've been worried when I brought my cat over there.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
a kid will find it, your pets will find it.
Right.
My parents can't find it.
Grandparents or older babysitters may be used to filling a crib with stuffed animals or blankets, which is no longer recommended, or they might have older baby gear and toys around their home that are no longer considered safe. Drop-side cribs, for example, they're no longer allowed to be sold, and it's recommended that you just throw them out. If you have an infant, suffocation is one of the main causes of death for children under a year old. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, the CPSC, reported over 12,000 injuries associated with cribs and crib mattresses. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends having nothing in or near a baby's crib. No crib bumpers, blankets, pillows, or toys, nothing soft in the crib. They only want you to have a firm, tight-fitting mattress and only use a fitted sheet specifically made for crib use. The CPSC says you want no space between the mattress and the crib. There shouldn't be more than 2 3/8 inch opening between the slats. And for mesh-sided cribs, only a 1/4 inch opening or smaller. The corner post shouldn't have anything that can catch clothing or cause strangulation. No exposed screws, bolts, or parts that could catch clothing or skin. When they start to sit up, you want to adjust the mattress height lower so they can't fall out, and lower it to the lowest setting when they start to pull themselves up. And never put the crib near drapes or blinds. You want to remove anything hanging over the crib when they start to sit up. You don't want any electrical cords or objects within 3 feet of the crib. The CPSC says that cords on window coverings are a strangulation hazard for children up to around 9 years old.
Wow, that seems old.
Yeah, amazing. And they say it happens most often in bedrooms, and it happens so quickly that many of these deaths happen without adults being aware of any problem at all. They say about 1 child a month dies from window cord strangulation, and any cord or chain that can be looped or cords woven inside shades that can form a loop are a hazard.
Right.
Get rid of any window coverings or cords that could be a hazard. Go to cordless window coverings. You can look for window coverings with the Best for Kids certification label, and these have passed a third-party safety test. The Window Coverings Manufacturers Association just announced that it approved a new standard by ANSI, that's the American National Standards Institute, and this is going to require most window coverings sold in the U.S. to either be cordless, have inaccessible or very short cords to protect children. And this should start affecting products in 2019. A couple of the top-rated companies are Bali, B-A-L-I, and Levelor, L-E-V-E-L-O-R, and they have quite a few of these Best for Kids certified shades.
Okay.
A study done by the Journal of American Academy of Pediatrics looked at children falling out of windows between 1990 and 2008, and there were more than 98,000 children taken to emergency rooms during that period.
Wow.
A quarter of them had to be admitted into the hospital. 1- and 2-year-olds were the largest group, and they had the most severe injuries and deaths. So add window locks to prevent windows from opening more than 4 inches. You can get kits for casement windows and sash windows, and that's going to protect your children. Also get sliding door locks for patio doors. It'll allow the door to be opened slightly, but not far enough so that a child can get through. There's also safety window gates, which are childproof, but in an emergency they can be removed.
Okay.
Window screens aren't designed to keep kids from falling through a window. Most of the screens are held in the frame with a rubber spline that can be easily forced out of the groove in the frame.
Right. So you should use window locks and gates.
Absolutely. Another hazard is pet doors. Safety Research and Strategies, Inc. says there's been about 100 documented cases of children getting hurt or dying as a result of getting out of the house through a pet door. A medium-sized pet door is 8 inches by 11 inches, and a child up to around 3 years old can fit through the opening. So you should eliminate pet doors in your house, especially if you have an accessible pool outside the pet door.
Okay.
Raccoons are known to use pet doors to come inside your house and feed out of the pet's food bowl and go through your garbage can.
That would be terrible.
And there's a great video online of a 7-foot alligator that came into a house through the pet door.
Okay, that would be worse.
It's pretty amazing. You should look at some of these videos of raccoons. They're caught on security cameras where they just come in, they're looking around, they feed for a while.
Take a nap.
And then leave out the pet door. There are 2 main types of gates for kids, pressure mount and hardware mount. The CPSC found more than 4,000 children were injured by baby gates or barriers in 2014. Only use hardware-mounted gates at the top and bottom of stairs or to the outside.
Okay.
For strength, the size of the openings, and the quality of the latching systems, look for JPMA certified, and that's the Juvenile Products Manufacturers Association. The gates shouldn't be less than 22 inches tall and have more than a 3-inch opening on the bottom. Some of the top-rated companies are Evenflo, it's EVENFLO, Safety First, North States, GMI, Cardinal Gates, and Munchkin, MUNCHKIN. And you should test the latch and how it opens. You want something that's easy to use for adults. You don't want to try and climb over the gates. There are a lot of injuries to parents and grandparents every year trying to step over the gates rather than opening them. And have gates to bring with you on vacation or when you're visiting other people's homes. Use gates to block off bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry rooms in your home to keep kids away from hazards, or doorknob locks. Pros are suggesting use doorknob locks and cabinet locks in bathrooms, laundry rooms, and the kitchen to prevent toddlers from getting into chemicals or grabbing anything sharp. You should be locking your drawers too. Get a toilet lock. A couple kids die every year from falling into toilets.
Wow.
And if you clean with 5-gallon buckets or mop buckets, they're potentially deadly to toddlers if they're left unattended.
You mean if water's left in there?
Right. It only takes a small amount of water for a child to drown. And you never want to leave a small child in a bathtub with any amount of water. You should have a non-slip mat inside the tub and outside the tub so you don't lose control. And don't trust these bath rings or bath seats to prevent your child from falling over if they're unattended, because the suction cups can release. Accidental drowning is one of the leading causes of death in 1 to 4-year-olds. Keep water temperature 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit and
How would you know?
use a bathtub thermometer and run it for 2 or 3 minutes and then put it under the spout. And turn down the water heater temperature to 120 degrees or below if you have kids or older people in the house. That's going to help prevent scalding. Use a cushioned tub spout to prevent accidents. And there's also covers for the knobs, and that's going to help prevent kids from turning up the hot water.
Okay.
The outlet in the bathroom should be a GFCI, or the bathroom circuit should be protected by a GFCI to prevent a shock hazard. Don't have anything plugged in near a sink or a bathtub with toddlers in the bath. And learn CPR when you have kids. Also the Heimlich maneuver. The American Heart Association is still recommending the Heimlich maneuver, but the Red Cross is recommending 5 and 5 for choking.
What is that?
So 5 back blows and then 5 abdominal thrusts, which is the Heimlich maneuver. Henry Heimlich became a doctor. Then he served in the Navy in China in World War II, and he developed a treatment for a bacterial infection that was causing blindness throughout Asia. He mixed an antibiotic with shaving cream, and that solved it. Amazing, huh? He came up with the Heimlich maneuver in the 1970s, and a story about his life said he used the maneuver in the nursing home he lived in, and he saved a fellow resident when he was in his 90s.
Wow.
Along with GFCIs in bathrooms and in the kitchen, check for tamper-resistant outlets throughout your house. So these are outlets that have plastic shutters, and it helps prevent shocks if kids are trying to push something into the slots on an outlet.
How does it work?
So both sides have to be pushed in at the same time with a plug for it to open up those shutters. And what I like about the tamper-resistant outlets is it's a permanent solution to protect
the covers.
Right.
The plastic cover things.
Yeah, because those can be annoying. They're hard to pull in and take out, and a couple
Isn't that the point? So kids can't do that?
Right, right, but it can be annoying if you're using an outlet often. Sometimes you get lazy and just you don't put it back into the outlet.
Lose them too.
Right. So what's nice about the tamper-resistant outlets is they're always working. And if you have an older home, these tamper-resistant outlets are really a nice upgrade in your kid's bedroom or anywhere they're going to be playing. There's about 2,000 children hospitalized every year for electrical shocks. There are safety outlet cover plates that are child-resistant that slide closed when a plug isn't in the outlet.
So instead of replacing the outlet?
Right, exactly. And then there's kits that cover not only the outlet slots, but the screw heads too, to prevent curious kids from taking off the cover. Top Greener has a tamper-resistant outlet with a built-in LED nightlight, and the LED is safe to touch. It has a kid-proof screwless plate cover to prevent removal, and the sensor turns on when it's dark and off during the day. It's rated at 50,000 hours. The LED is rated that long, so about 10 years. Also, some top-rated nightlight outlets are from Leviton and Eaton. It's Eaton. Another interesting nightlight for kids is from Snap Powers. It's SNAPPOWER. And these are outlet covers with built-in LEDs, and they turn on in low light and then off during the day.
Right.
Top Greener has a guide light switch with a child-safe design to replace a standard light switch, and this has a safe-to-touch LED, a screwless plate cover, and a dusk-to-dawn sensor.
So what does it do?
It has a built-in night light, so this is great for bedrooms and bathrooms, and having night lights in the bathroom and along the path to your kids' room really makes it a lot easier to check on your kids at night, and easier for older kids if they get up and go to the toilet at night, and helps prevent tripping. Another hazard is lamps that can be pulled down onto your child or a landline phone. You should change or replace long extension cords with short power strips, and remove phone chargers or any cords within the reach of children. Think about pictures in glass frames that could be pulled off furniture and everything hard, sharp, or heavy within reach. You want to anchor all the furniture to wall studs. Use a stud finder, and a couple of the top rated are from Zircon. It's ZIRCON, and Franklin Sensors. And as kids start to walk and pull themselves up, you don't want TVs, bookshelves, or any top-heavy furniture to fall over. Kids can open the bottom drawer on a dresser and try to climb higher, and it can tip over on itself. So you want to use straps, these anti-tip systems for all of your furniture where kids are going to be. You should use it on your oven also. Kids can pull open the door and then climb on the door, and it pulls it over.
Oh, wow.
So get child locks for your oven doors, your dishwasher door, along with everything else in the kitchen, all the drawers and doors. You want those all locked. You should get in the habit of keeping your pot and pan handles pointed toward the back of the stove so kids can't reach up and pull down hot or heavy pans. Get all your chemicals up high and out of reach. Have the poison control hotline number in your phone, and you can text the word poison, so POISON, to 797979, and it'll be automatically added to your contacts. The number is 1-800-222-1222. And some hazards the poison control centers are warning about are e-cigarettes and liquid nicotine. I guess a lot of people are leaving these out. You want to keep this out of the reach of children, potentially very hazardous. Some hand sanitizers are in bright containers and they smell like food or candy. And even a small amount ingested can be dangerous. Laundry detergent packets, they look like candy, and that membrane that holds the soap, it'll dissolve if it's put in your mouth, and it's potentially dangerous.
Right.
For glass tables, there are thick plastic covers. For old homes without safety glass on windows, you can get shatter-resistant window film, and then get bumper guards for all the edges of tables and furniture. You can use pipe insulation that you'd put over water pipes.
Right.
And that's an inexpensive way to cover hard edges. I would get the style with self-adhesive strips. You can also get finger guards for doors that you want to keep open, and this prevents it from closing, so it won't close against your kids' fingers, and you should keep these up high, out of the reach of your kids. Cover your fireplace opening and glass doors if you have them. Remove your fireplace tools and any fire starters. Lead paint is still a potential problem in older homes. It's very dangerous if you're sanding old paint or if you have peeling paint in your home.
It's not just inside, it's outdoor paint too is a problem.
Right. Paints before 1978, a lot of them still had lead in it. And houses that are pre-1960s, they have the highest risk of lead paint in your house. You can check with your local village about any programs in your community to test your home for lead paint if you have kids. And there are test kits you can get at the hardware store or a home center, and you're looking for EPA-recognized test kits. And you can also go to epa.gov/lead, and you can get information on approved contractors if you want a pro to help you. And then there's a lot of information on lead paint in a house. You don't want to let kids play with toys that are pre-1976 because of potential lead problems. And if you live in an old home, the copper pipes could have been soldered with lead solder, and also some of the old faucets, there was lead, and the main pipe coming into your home. In old homes, they're recommending run the water for a minute or longer and only use cold water for drinking, cooking, and making up baby formula. And then clean out and rinse your faucet aerators regularly to remove any particles. Use a water filter designed to remove lead and replace it on a recommended schedule. Lead is very dangerous for kids under 6. It can damage the brain and nervous system. Check for choking hazards, and you can use the cardboard tube from a toilet paper roll to check the size of toys. If it fits inside the cardboard tube, it's a choking hazard. Grapes, balloons, coins, button batteries, magnets are all choking hazards. And don't leave plastic bags in reach. You can tie them into knots, and it's going to be safer.
You hate it when I do that.
Great for kids, though. Some houseplants are dangerous if they're eaten. Keep plants out of reach, and call the poison control hotline if kids eat plants. Keep a lid on garbage cans, and if you have a gas stove, you can remove the knobs so small kids can't turn on the gas. For electric stoves, you can remove the knobs too, and that's going to help prevent burns or a fire hazard. You should test your home for radon. Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer and the number 1 cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Some top-rated radon monitors are from AirThings, ProLab, and RSSI AlphaTrack. Get an updated car seat. Check your car manual to see if they have an integrated safety system for your model. All child safety seats and vehicles manufactured after 2002 must be compatible with the latch system. It's LATCH, and it stands for lower anchors and tethers for children. Some older cars have it, so check your manual. And the car seat is secured to anchors permanently attached to the vehicle rather than to the seatbelt. And if you don't have the latch system, review the car seat manual and take a class for the updated tips for securing different types of child car seats. There's a lot of new systems.
Do you have anything else to add?
Make sure you have smoke and CO detectors throughout your home and replace them regularly. And I was reading a report from the CDC about ways to reduce the most common injuries for adults and kids. And this is from years of their statistical research. They say the key things are have your eyes checked, remove tripping hazards around your home, keep medication out of the reach of children, wear your seatbelt, and walk on the sidewalk.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Player FM, Pandora, or your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our books, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.